Hi, it's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com, and just a quick overview and summary, and I'll probably do another video with Geeta at some point before the main event, but just a quick overview and summary of what I'm going to be speaking about at the London Yes Group next month. Really excited to be back on the Yes Group stage. It's such an incredible group, an amazing group of people, and so it's the last Wednesday of the month, so I'm speaking next month. Really looking forward to it, and did an intro taster tonight. So I'm just going to take you through that intro taster as well to give you a little sneak peek of what I'm going to be talking about. So I'm going to be exploring the depths of Ho'oponopono and looking beyond the words, because I know a lot of people, when I say, have you heard of Huna, they will say no. If I say, have you heard of Ho'oponopono, sometimes get people saying yes to that. However, if I say to them, have you heard the words, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you, they think, oh yeah, I know that. So they actually don't realize that they're talking about Huna, that they're talking about Ho'oponopono in terms of the system that I was taught. So what I'm going to be doing on the night is taking you through some of the ancient, kind of the background, because this is several thousand years old. So really going to take you through some of the background of that. We're going to look at the power of clearing the Arca connection, which is really one of the things that the Ho'oponopono centers around. Also going to give you a sneak peek at some of my favorite Huna symbols. And if you have ever, if you're on my e-newsletter list, and I've invited you to some of the free teleseminars and webinars at some point where I've done the Huna and Access Consciousness, when you hear me doing the what I call the bells and whistles version, which is it's the symbols that I'm actually using and transmitting during those sessions. Also going to touch on a little bit of why it was illegal to practice Huna and Ho'oponopono until as the late as the 1970s. I think it was 1979 when it was finally repealed. And I'm also going to give you a Huna energy experiential. And what I mean by that is doing something for the group who are there, so you get to experience the Huna symbols and feel them for yourself. And I'm also going to give you an overview, because our second speaker is Suki Wahiwala. So I'm also going to share with you some of the stuff that I've done with Suki, because we've worked together for many years. And when we were running the Millionaire Mentor Day event, Suki would talk about the business and strategy side. I would talk about the mindset belief side. And one of the components that always blew people's minds was the Huna and Access Consciousness. So we'll probably touch on some of that as well, given that he's also speaking on the night. Now, in terms of the Huna experiential, it's something that happened, well, it's happened a lot. I mean, whenever I do Huna, people are just like blown away. And this one was a particular situation, which was, even I didn't really know what was going on there. At one point, I've got all the speakers up on stage. So who you can see now, you can see Greg Braden, Joe Dispenza, and Dr. Bruce Lipton. And we had all of the speakers, I think about 10 of them on the stage. And at one point, Bruce Lipton asked me a question, and because he was like, what's going on here? Where are you getting this from? And then when it was Greg then interjected at that point after I'd spoken to Bruce, and he asked me a question, and he stopped the whole show. There's like 550 people in the audience, and he stops the show. He asked me a couple of questions because he wanted to know what I was doing and how I was doing it. And so I'm going to tell you what was going down there, and I'm going to tell you what was happening with regards to that one. And what I'm also going to do is share with you what it is I did and how I did it. Part of it was due to photo reading and the accelerated learning stuff, and there was also a Huna component in the thing that made Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden stop the show and go, whoa, what's going on here? What are you doing? How are you doing this? Where did you get this from? So I'll expand on that on the night, and I'll explain exactly what was going on there. And with regards to the Huna symbols, let me give you a little peek at those. I'm going to show you some of my favorites, but this is going to be an experiential. So what I'm going to be doing is, as well as showing you some of the symbols, and I'll have my Huna book with me so you can look at it in the breaks. I'm just going to ask that you leave all the Huna symbols in the folder. but I'm actually going to do the symbols. I'm going to give you an experience. So when you are in the room, you can have the same kind of experience that people had. Actually, let me pull that one back up again, just to kind of give you a sense of what people were saying at the event. So someone says, you know, thank you so much for everything, the Huna, and how beautifully you held the energy and managed the room. Because the reason on the first year I was the MC and host for this event, I was just going on stage to introduce the next speaker, and the person who runs the whole thing calls me aside and he says, I've just realized that residents from Grenfell Towers are downstairs. Before we start the segment, can you do some sort of healing meditation? So I'm literally walking on the stage while I'm having this conversation. I'm like, oh, okay. So I get on stage and think, okay, what can I do to transmute the energy to the people who are downstairs and upstairs and in the foyer, and also give us an experience. So that was the first time I did the Huna. And people were coming up at the end saying, oh my God, what is it you were doing? That was so powerful. And relaying stuff that happened. And then this year, I did it for a different reason. I did it on the Saturday. On the Friday, I'm in the room and I'm like, I don't often feel tired. I don't often feel confused. And I was tired and a bit confused. I'm like, I'm here for the next 3 days. What's going on? And it's like, do you know what? I don't like the energy in the room. And so I went up to the organizer and I says, do you mind if before I was just about to introduce Lynn McTaggart. And I said, before I introduce Lynn, do you mind if I just do 2 minutes of Huna? Didn't tell him why, I just, and he said, yeah, fine. So I just do, 2 minutes. The group have no idea what's going on. And as you can see in one of the quotes here, somebody says, I did speak to you at she sent me an email later saying, I did speak to you at the event in the ladies' brackets, because people were stopping me everywhere. They were stopping me in the ladies' toilets, on the stairs, in the restaurant, in the corridor. Somebody stopped me on London Underground because he went, hey, it's you, and then relayed what had happened to him. And so she says, I did speak to you at the event in the ladies and explained how I felt the energy around me and a sense of calm. But since that time, I'm quite amazed at what has happened. And somebody else was saying the Huna had, a profound effect on them. So I'm going to share with you some of the stuff that was going on there for people, and you will get to experience that yourself. Now, these guys only got 2 minutes of Huna, quite literally. I just got up on stage and I'm just going to do this thing. They had no idea what was going on, but they felt it. And you will get an opportunity to do that. I might also do a little bit of what I do on the photo reading as well, because as well as doing the group Huna, I also do some individual stuff for people. So we'll see how it goes on the night, but that's basically what's coming up. So if you would like to join us, let me put, I think if I've saved it correctly, let me just see if it's still in the buffer. I will put the link where you can book it's in there. So I've put the link. If you're watching this on Facebook and you're on Facebook Live at the moment, the link is in the comments. If you're watching this later on YouTube, I'll put it in the description. And at the moment, for those of you who are on my e-newsletter list, there's a 2-for-1 offer. And so check the e-newsletter that went out this morning at around 7:45 UK time. And the code for the 2-for-1 offer is there. It means you buy one ticket, you get another one free, which means you can either bring a guest or you can split the cost. So I think it's going to cost you £10 each if you're splitting the cost. But it will be fantastic, amazing, and wonderful to see you there. And let me just show you again the page that you are looking for. There we go. So that's the page you're looking for. So that's what it's going to look like when you land on the Yes Group London site. And you just it tells you where it is. It's in central London, about 15 minutes walk. Depends how quick you walk, I suppose. But about 15 minutes walk from London Euston Station. So nearest tube, I think, if you're going to be tubing it in, was Russell Square. But fantastic evening. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. The night itself starts at 7 p.m. and it finishes at 10 p.m. And then there's normally about an hour and a half of hugging before you can actually get out the door. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome, awesome, awesome night. So if you are interested in, and what I might do actually, because it's a combo that I use a lot, I'm going to see how we go for time, because the talks themselves aren't that long. It's 40 minutes plus 10 minutes Q&A, so just under an hour. But if there is a bit of time, I might just throw in a dash of access consciousness as well, because that is a really brilliant way to help the energy along. But if you're in London, end of next month, February 2019, last Wednesday of the month, I believe that makes it the 27th. Come along and join us for what is going to be an absolutely spectacular night. And just, I'm sure it'll be as mind-blowing for you as it has been for the people that have experienced the HUNA over the past 18 years that I've been doing it. And some of you are asking about workshops, etc. So I'm going to be running an in-person HUNA workshop this year. I'm also going to be running a one-day HUNA webinar, video webinar training, which means you can take part from wherever you are in the world. And I will reveal more about that on the day as well. I'm probably also going to speak to Geeta about it, but I'll probably do a prize draw as well. So one of you who are there at the end can win a place. So more about that on the night, but come and join us. It's going to be a spectacular evening. So thank you so much for watching. And if you know anyone who's based in and around London and they would like to join us, please feel free to share the link with them, share this video, and it'll be wonderful to have you there. Roy Day says, battery low, hope to catch the replay. Thank you. Oh, Roy, you are most welcome. Shall we send you some HUNA energy? And actually, I'm just laughing because when I did the HUNA workshop out in Hawaii, level 1, they were, get to hear a bit about the symbols. You get the fuller initiation. In level 2, we get even more symbols. But I remember them distinctly saying, and it's in my HUNA notebook, do not use the fire symbol for electrical equipment. So because it could fry it. And I shared a picture because I ran the Mind, Body, Spirit Energy Fest webinar last weekend. And in one of the pictures I had in the possible slide deck, I had written along the bottom, you can put anything you want to charge up, because we were doing an in-person thing where we're charging up items. So people were putting their crystals, credit cards, their wallets, jewelry. And I wrote a thing at the bottom saying, don't put any valuable rings into the stack. The reason being, a few years before, a friend of mine, lovely friend, you might have heard me talk about her, Amana, came to my photo reading workshop, and I was doing some of the HUNA because I do the photo reading workshop. I do the HUNA as a bonus on the Friday night because it's a really good way to get rid of negative emotions, limiting beliefs, and the things that might stop and block people fully getting and being able to implement and understand and take on board and apply the photo reading skills. So we're at the workshop. Amana puts her ring, like really beautiful silver ring, and it's stirred. I don't know if I've got one here. It's, you see how thick this, if you can see how thick the silver in this ring is, it was even thicker than that one. And so Amana puts her ring on the table. I'm doing the HUNA, and Gina's doing her clairvoyance. Oh, actually, no, was it before? It might have been an event that I was running it, but anyway, we got some energy going. I'm doing the HUNA, and her ring is there. After the HUNA, she picks her ring up, and rather than being central, the metal is skewed to one side to the point she couldn't properly put her finger in it, because it went from being, nice and circular to just almost like squished in, and the metal had bent to the side. And she's like, look what you've done to my favorite ring. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So now when we're doing the HUNA, I say to people, put jewelry down, rings and circular things down at your own risk, because the energy can be super duper powerful. So come and experience it for yourself on the night. It's going to be amazing. I'm so looking forward to it. And I just did a 2-minute intro at the Yes Group tonight, and people were coming up and saying, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm definitely coming. Can't wait. Whoa. Oh my God, sounds amazing. And it totally is. So come and join us. I really look forward to seeing you there for the London Yes Group. And if you're on my e-newsletter list, check your email from what will now be this morning, because we're pushing up to 1 a.m. and you can get the 2-for-1 code where you put that in at the checkout, and then it will give you 2 places for the price of 1, basically. So I will see you next month, February 2019, last Wednesday of the month, London Yes Group. I'm so looking forward to it. Catch you later. Bye bye.